So we'll go through some questions that we received throughout the week. So it's going to be quite interesting to go through some of them because we have some very, very unique ones. And so we're going to be starting with a question from Madeleine. So Madeleine on YouTube says, "Hi guys, I want to go on a solo backpacking trip in 2020 after I finish school, but I will be 18 for another year after that. Is it possible for me to book beds in hostel dorms as a 17 years old alone? Even if I can, will it still be a good experience for me?" So can you travel through New Zealand underage, basically under 18? Because let's get started with the first thing. New Zealand's drinking age is 18. Like for everything it's 18. We don't have like in New Zealand we don't have like the 18 and 21 like some people have in the US.
Yeah.
So it's 18. Now, so you. Like if you go to a bar or if you buy any alcohol in supermarkets or anything like that, you're always going to be asked your ID. If you look under, I think it's 25.
25, yeah.
So if you look under 25, you're going to be asked your ID. And then at this point, you have to use, you have to give a recognized ID in order to prove your age. And that's the same thing for almost everywhere in New Zealand. And the recognized ID are passport, international passport, driver license, New Zealand driver license, or just New Zealand driver license.
New Zealand driving license.
And what's the name of the other one?
And the 18 plus card or the access card, as it's Kiwi access card. It's a card you can only get in New Zealand, and it's basically for the purpose of proving your age and proving that you are over 18 years old when buying alcohol and go like from the supermarkets or going into bars. That's its sole purpose, and usually that's something that we recommend people to do if they are staying in New Zealand for a while, just as a more of a safer option than taking your passport out everywhere with you. So yeah, there's only the 3 options. You can't use your driver's license from anywhere else in the world. It has to be a New Zealand driver's license or your passport or the Kiwi access card.
All right, but you're probably not coming to New Zealand to literally binge drink. So but that's just to give a little bit of context on the legal age in New Zealand. Now, if you do want to travel around New Zealand and you are underage, your only option would be to actually have a parental, a parental approval. So it has to be a letter from your parents with associated IDs and everything like that, which will actually allow you to travel through New Zealand underage. Now, this doesn't mean that all the hostels and all the activity providers and everything are going to be happy to take you without your guardian or your parents, just because, well, for them it's just extra liability and they may just not want to have to deal with that. Most of the hostels in the country will not allow you to stay if you are underage and without your parents or your guides and everything. Sometimes they do that for like school trip, for example, but it's organized by a local school and you are with teachers and supervisors and all of that. So that's the kind of thing that they usually used to. But if you are underage and you are without your parents, they usually don't allow you at all. It's going to be the same for a lot of activities, especially any of the adventure activities. They usually either require you to have the parental authorization or to have to be with your parent or guardian. Now, activities tend to be a little bit more lenient with that, so they tend to, or like most of the time, I wasn't about to say always, but they tend to most of the time accept parental letter or those kind of things. But still, you may get the odds yes, no, yes, no. So as far as option as you have, because basically I'm kind of telling you no all the time here, Madeleine, it's not really that nice. Yeah. So as far as option as what you have, right? So you can try to come to New Zealand with, your parental letter. But at that point, I will actually suggest you book everything in advance, like every single one of them, and you contact every single one of them and explain your case and give your paperwork every time, which, gonna start creating a bit of a hassle, but this how I will do it for accommodation. Same thing for activities, I will do it that way as well. So that's how you will be able to do it, but you will realize that you do need that as well for do need this parental letter from immigration. You need it for even taking an international plane, leaving the country. You've got to have that. So that would be option one. You organize everything you said, but you have to contact every single places on your own. Second one, it would be to actually sort out one of those tools, which are educational tools. Now, there are a few companies that offer educational tools. Like the first one that comes to mind is Hacker Tools, for example. And then you can hop onto like Underage kind of tools that will take you around.
And just to add to that, there's a lot of volunteering tours as well, which usually take students in particular to do sort of volunteering around New Zealand. I know definitely in the US and stuff like that, there's US-based companies which offer sort of volunteering for people that are under 18 as well to visit New Zealand. So you could look into something like that as well.
Yeah. But the good thing about taking a tour is that would sort out transportation as well, because sorting out transportation around New Zealand, same thing without a parent is a bit harder. Like there is not that much control, but technically you wouldn't be able to, just hop on a bus and everything without parental approval and all of that. So that would sort out your transportation as well. Your other option will be to travel around New Zealand. Well, with your parents or with a parental, or
the
guardian, or a legal guardian. That would be your other option. But obviously, if you do ask us this question, that probably means that you're not wanting to do that. But that's your other option right here. Will be to actually get a parent to do that. The last option, another option would be to get emancipated. So if you get emancipated, that just means that your parents recognize that you're a full-grown adult, even if you're only 17, and that comes with some paperwork. And if you do that, then you are 18. So but you're not 18, so that would be sorted. So the same thing, that's a lot of paperwork. I don't think your parents would want to go through all that back home. And the last thing that you have is to wait until 2021, until you actually are turning 18, because honestly, that will make your whole life so much easier. I know it's not the answer you want to hear, but literally that's, we just gave you a ton of options right now, but they all look like really hard work for something that if you just wait a few extra months, then it's going to be much easier. I know it may not be lining up with school and everything like that, but that's basically the one thing I would suggest.
Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. I think it's definitely waiting until you're actually 18 years old so that you do have the freedom to experience New Zealand, spontaneously, like book into things last minute and be able to, enjoy the country. Because obviously if you're traveling by yourself as a 17-year-old, you might meet other people that, are doing some last minute tours that sound really awesome, that you might want to jump on with them, but then you realize that the tour might not take you because you are under 18, for instance. It's just going to give you a lot of restrictions if you visit New Zealand by yourself if you're under 18. So I really don't considering New Zealand's so far away and it's often like a once in a lifetime destination. You really don't want to end up just restricting yourself and spoiling it for yourself by not being able to do everything that is available here. So definitely wait until you're 18. I'm sure there's plenty of other options you can do in your home country as a 17-year-old. Those months will probably fly by, honestly, for you, and you'll be 18 in no time. So
you sound so old when you say that.
I know, but that's true. It's like it flies by, and you're before you know it, you're 18 years old and coming to New Zealand. So it's not a big deal.
That's terrible. So that's the kind of scenario. It's quite rare that we actually get questions. That's why I wanted to start with your question, Madeleine, today. It's quite rare that we actually end up answering a question by, let's say, we don't suggest you do it at all. We suggest you just wait and turn 18. It doesn't feel good for us to tell you that. We're really sorry. But that's where we're at. Anyway, so we actually have more information about this kind of things on nzpocketguide.com. So if you want to head to nzpocketguide.com, you will find similar answers, but in writing form, so you can actually go through everything a bit easier. And anything to plan your trip in New Zealand is on nzpocketguide.com anyway. And if you do have a question of your own, if you're watching this video and your name is not Madeleine, make sure to put it in the comment below or on the live chat of the video if you are currently watching us live, and we'll get to it right away. In the meantime, well, let's go back to that said live chat.